Welcome back to the mighty San Juan Mountains. The air is crisp, the skies are clear, and Colorado provides yet another spectacular setting for fall color photography. It's a chilly morning, and the night before has bestowed a gift of fresh snow across the mountains. As we dial in our location, we find ourselves confronted with powerful mid-morning sunlight. Direct sunlight hammers across the foliage of our foreground, creating a shimmering sea of harsh glare upon every single leaf. This is circular polarizer territory, and with a flick of the wrist, our filter cuts through the glinting glare to create soft, beautiful leaves filled with deep color saturation. With our boots on the ground, we find ourselves filling with excitement at the prospect of yet another brilliant day in Colorado.
All right, friends, welcome back to the San Juan Mountains. Now, we've already shot this scene one time before, but the entire valley was being hammered by broad sunlight. Now we have completely different conditions. Last night there was an overnight snow, so the peaks are covered. We had rain throughout the valley, so all of our colors are popping out, and the icing on the cake, there's partly cloudy skies. I can't wait to see what this looks like, so let's have a look at our scene.
All right, let's take a look at our scene at a number of different focal lengths. Right here, we are at 35 millimeters. I kind of like this composition because we do have good foreground elements and we do actually see a fair bit of the mountains. Watch what happens when we zoom way out. This is now at 16 millimeters, and what I'm noticing is that there's a lot of distraction happening. I can see some fence posts kind of peeking out down there in the bottom, and furthermore, my mountains have become so small that they've literally been totally diminished. Now, a lot of traditional landscape photographers like to apply a whole bunch of foreground elements into their images. The idea is that it gives it a bit of a three-dimensionality. You have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. But in this case, the mountains are so small, I almost don't even care about them. And to be honest, I didn't come all the way out here to take a picture of that bush. For me, the mountains are the scene. And so we're gonna have to use that in our compositional equation.
Once again, the panoramic composition becomes abundantly appealing. Like a giant mountainous train in the distance, the long row of jagged peaks interconnect upon the horizon. In the middle ground, the valley is filled with a colorful mixture of green and yellow aspen trees. And as we progress closer to the camera, we find our foreground comprised of bright orange scrub oak trees, which serve to form a strong foundation to the bottom of our scene. Now, having bright orange scrub oak trees is actually quite a rare treat for us. Most years they just turn brown because there is not always an abundance of rain in the summertime. This year, however, has treated us to a wonderful mixture of beautiful orange and red colors. When we take a few steps to the right, we release our foreground of scrub oak trees and find a much more expansive landscape. No longer hemmed in by the foreground, this new perspective gives us a slightly different take on the very same scene. Personally, I like both versions. Foreground elements are great for providing a sense of depth, and yet when we choose to exclude foreground elements from our scene, we create a little bit more breathing room for our audience. And the best part is, you don't have to pick your favorite. When in doubt, shoot more than one composition. There's always time to decide later on. With a fresh new batch of images safely captured, the morning sun rises slowly overhead. Nature has definitely delivered a fantastic series of conditions, kicking us off with yet another brilliant day in Colorado. This is a great start, and our fall colors adventure is beginning to warm up very nicely.